Breaking archaeology news! We may potentially have a Stonehenge prototype on our hands, just in time for the summer solstice, too. Archaeologists working at the site of Bulford, just 5 kilometers from Stonehenge, have discovered the remains of 2 poles that can maybe be called a prototype for the solar alignment of one of the world's most famous stone circles. And it predates Stonehenge's own alignment by 500 years. These wooden poles were spaced 120 meters apart and form a precise line pointing directly at the rising sun during the summer solstice and the setting sun during the winter solstice. These poles don't exist anymore as they were actually removed at one point and the wood wouldn't have lasted that long anyways, but the post holes are still there and other evidence at the site dates it to around 2950 BCE. For reference, the big stones at Stonehenge weren't put into their own solar alignment until around 2500 BCE. Archaeologists even found this extremely rare disc-shaped knife that could possibly be a symbolic sun disk. Other pits around the area showed lots of evidence for feasting and large-scale gatherings, meaning people have been coming to this area to celebrate the solstices for 5,000 years. Now, 2 poles in the ground seems relatively simple and nothing in comparison to the monumental stones that we see at Stonehenge today, but this type of construction would have still needed a fair amount of community organization, and it would have still been an important place for people to celebrate before they could build these more permanent stone structures. Something like this setup could even have been built at Stonehenge before the stones were moved in, but because there has been so much activity there, evidence for it would have likely been destroyed by later construction. It just goes to show that there is still so much more that we can learn about already famous and well-studied historic areas like Stonehenge and the Salisbury Plain.